Spring has sprung. It's time to work on some bunnies. Hi, this is Rozani. Today we're going to be working on a bunny theme. I love bunnies. They're so cute. And I've been making a lot of little faces lately, so what do I do with them? Well, I can turn them into art dolls, and I like to create an armature. So I've got all of these bottles that I put aside for different projects, and I wanted to see what I could do with them. So that's what I'm doing here. I hope that you like this type of video. It's going to be casual as I go through the process of working on this little bunny. So in order to make the body, I have to choose something that's a little proportionate to the head. Now, you don't have to. I mean, it could be totally an art doll, whatever you want to do. But I finally found a bottle that would fit this little head. So I'm going with this one. And I have this little plastic bag from when we used to have our newspapers delivered once upon a time. So I'm just going to tape this up and get the project started. So it's going to be a little bit lengthy, but I hope you'll find it interesting. This is a fun type of project to work on. Now, I love papier mâché, but in order to get the understructure, I have to start with something sturdy. So at this stage, in the beginning, I won't be putting papier mâché on it in this video. We're just going to work on getting the basic body shape, the support structure. Masking tape is my friend. I keep a lot of it handy, and when I'm able to, I like to buy it in bulk. This is going to be a fairly lightweight piece. Some people may prefer to use tin foil or aluminum foil, as some might say, and that's perfectly fine. I think most creators have their preference of supplies because there are so many options to choose from. I used to use heavier materials, but I prefer the lighter weight ones. And I have a lot of lightweight paper. You could use cotton if you want, paper napkins, paper towels, anything to fill in and create bulk. And then after you do that, you can just use masking tape over it. So I'm working on the upper part right now. And it's going to come together quite nicely. But you may have noticed that I don't use wire. You can use wire or pipe cleaners, whatever you like. You don't have to make a whole body. You can make a torso. But I want to see how far I can get with this bottle. The neat thing about using a bottle like this is that it can stand up on its own. I don't have to attach it to a platform. And I don't have to worry about it being unstable. In this piece, I've used a little rolled up toilet paper roll, which has slipped down toward the bottom of the bottle. So let's see, we'll just pull that right back out. There we go. Ah, now you see, it's going to be easier to attach that bunny head, which is flat on the back, once I have that little raised piece. Now I'm using the head back and forth so that I can kind of estimate where I'm going to be placing it. But I won't be attaching it until the very end. Mainly, I need to get everything secured into place. Now this little bunny can be a male or a female, whatever you want it to be. And the bunny head is not 100% finished, but it's to that stage where I can get an idea of how it's going to look. Now you can use this type of armature with different types of heads and faces, as well as seasonal projects. Because once you have the armature, you can drape paper or fabric on top of it to create garments or costumes for any occasion or theme. But I like to cover up the plastic in this case and make sure that there's a nice layer of paper underneath, and then I will use my papier mâché on top of that. And you can play with the arms and decide how you want to position them. There may be some of you who prefer to make a more realistic type little woodsy creature or a rabbit. As for me, I really enjoy making anthropomorphic type little creatures. Occasionally I'll make something maybe a little bit more realistic, but this is so much fun. And I could just use my imagination. And there are different themes for rabbits, like the March hare, which is one of my favorites from Alice in Wonderland. And of course, you can make an Easter bunny. And in different colors and styles. They don't have to be white with pink ears. They can be gray. They could be spotted. It could be black or brown. And very textured, which is really good for when you use the papier mâché pulp. You could just have fun with the fur. Creating sculpture by using the papier mâché process helps me to use up all of my leftover papers. Some may prefer to use tin foil or aluminum foil, as some may say, for the armature, whereas I, on the other hand, have an abundance of paper leftovers and tons of scraps, but I haven't thrown them away because I know that I can use them, no matter how small. Sometimes I turn them into papier mâché pulp and just have it ready to mix with my liquid starch. Other times, I use my paper to fill in my little pieces like I'm doing here. Now you see it's starting to take shape. And if you're someone who loves to play with fabric scraps, this would be a great project because you can really enjoy designing some cute little outfits for it. And yes, it's possible to combine fabric with paper. I'm continuing to move right along with that masking tape, and I think it's going to firm up really nicely. You can make several of these an entire family if you like. Now, if you wanted to, you could leave the neck open and create a bottle stopper head, in which case you can actually fill the bottle with candies or little treats, and it could be a gift. It could be included in a basket. So it's something to think about. All right, now this is the point where I'm going to attach it to the back. What I'm actually going to do is position it so that I can form a backing for the head support. And that's what I'm doing here. Filling it in with some paper, just crumpling it up, and I'm going to tape that into place. So I want to get that rounded shape in the back, get a little fullness, but make sure that I do attach it with the tape to the neck piece. Now, if you wanted to, you can use glue. I find the less glue that I use, the lighter weight it will be. Now, this is going to be a pretty lengthy tutorial. Sometimes I divide my tutorials into segments. And this one, I think I'll be able to do it in 2 separate videos. And if you feel that this video is too lengthy, just pause it and come back to it later, because I have a little bit left to go. So I'm almost finished with this little piece here. If you wanted to, you can use little styrofoam balls as well. This is, for me, a very soothing process. And look at that. I think I've lined it up quite nicely. So I'm tucking it in a little bit and just making sure that I do have that shape all tucked into place and secured. Because I'm going to be removing the little head so that I can finish working on the back piece. But I won't do it until I know that it's nice and tightly secured. But don't you think it has a lot of possibilities? I do. If you wanted to, you could even put whiskers on the bunny. And maybe a bonnet as well. So it depends on what you want to do with it. And of course, you could play with the ears. They could be floppy. Okay, here we go. There's the back. It looks pretty ugly right now. And that's all right. That's okay, because later on, we're going to cover it up with papier mâché. But I'm getting the shape that I need. And here we go. There's the shape. I'm going to tape over that a little bit more. And I've got the little pieces of tape there for the ears. And later on I can stiffen those up as well. But that's where there will be a little support provided for the ears. and moving right along. If you are new here, I'd like to welcome you. And of course, welcome to my regular viewers and subscribers. There we go. You see, that's going to fit nicely. Yeah, you can get an idea of what it's going to look like. Okay, now we're going to continue with the body, and there's some more scrap paper. I love to save my tissue paper, and my friends save and give me all kinds of leftover tissue paper, and it's perfect for this kind of thing. You could also use your glossy gift wrap for this. It doesn't matter because it's going to be underneath. But I get to use it up, and it works really nice right over the bottle, and I can tape over it really easily. If you were making a little lady bunny, this could be a dress. So just let creativity be your guide and have fun with it. I would love for you to just explore all of the possibilities and see what your imagination comes up with when you work with the papers and the different types of recycled bottle shapes. You may start off with one idea and then decide to change it as you go. I do enjoy demonstrating my work, and I like to teach others how to do this using my techniques with liquid starch and different types of paper. If you're interested in doing a one-on-one tutorial workshop with me, please let me know, and I'll be glad to provide that for you. And with those, I'll provide step-by-step instructions that you can print if you like. And that comes with illustrated templates, which you can also print out. Look at this. I love it. I am a kid at heart when it comes to this, and it's fun to play. I think we should all play at any age. So as I was saying, yeah, if you want to take a workshop with me, please let me know. There is a fee. So the prices depend on the type of workshop and the amount of time that is spent on a particular subject. The figurines take a little bit longer. And this one is fairly simple, all things considered, but you still have to get the structure to the point where it's ready to have the papier mâché put on top of it. And then we can begin sculpting. And over a course of several days, it'll be a little bit time consuming. What's this? Can you guess what I'm doing here? I thought I'd give this a try. I'm going to work on some little legs. I think I'll make some crumpled lumps. Oh, why not give it a little more shape by putting one on each side and creating the upper part of some legs. And I'm going to tape them into place and kind of eyeball them. And they're more or less going to be the same size. Now, I didn't make a template for this particular one because I think it's fairly easy to do. However, when it comes to the more in-depth tutorials and workshops, I'll provide templates. The templates aren't absolutely necessary, but if you don't have drawing skills, you may feel a little more comfortable using the templates. The choices are up to you, and in this one, you can freestyle it any way you like, and you don't have to put legs on it. But I think it's going to be cute. I'm going to experiment with it. I just don't want it to be a flat bunny. And at this point, I don't know if I'm going to put clothing on it. I may put a little costume accessory. I'm not sure. But right now, I'm going to put a little tummy. Look at that. I'm just going to tape it in place. A little bit of roly-poly tummy. Not too much. Just something cute. And it tapes into place quite easily. And it's going to be very lightweight because of the tissue paper. So there you go, pretty much. It's shaping up. And that doesn't even include the cottontail. Now later on in the next video that I do to continue this, I'm going to be filling it in a lot more. Meanwhile, I'm just going to finish this by covering it entirely with masking tape, making sure that everything is held together firmly. If you have any questions about this process, please let me know in the comments. If any of you have ever worked with clay, you'll find that there are similarities while using papier mâché techniques. I prefer to use liquid starch on my projects. That is my go-to liquid medium adhesive. It's very user-friendly for me, and I think you'll like it. Liquid starch holds my papers together very nicely. And even though it sticks together, it does not stick to my fingers to the point where I have to peel it off. I mean, I very rarely have to even rinse my fingers. I like to keep them damp when I do work with it. So if you'd like to learn more about the process that I'm going to use to cover this piece, please visit my playlists because I use liquid starch on all of my papier mâché projects, and you'll see me working with different types of paper. But the application remains the same. Now this is nearing completion, and I'm just going to add a few more little pieces of tape. I think it's going to work fine. Now later on I can decide how I'm going to position the arms. But for now, oh, it looks like I needed to pad the shoulder there a little bit. There we go. That's all it took. There, you see? It's going to come together nicely. It looks like a little doll, doesn't it? Okay, this will be my stopping point. Now, please remember to be on the lookout for the next video because that's when I'll begin putting the papier mâché over it. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.